to part 2 in what's on my shelves. In my last part 1, I told you what was on this shelf here. Now this shelf from top to bottom, the video I went through the whole thing quite slowly, talked about a few you know, not issues I had with the shelves, things where that, you know, they needed to be in a certain place for a certain reason. And also in this video I will be doing this lot of shelves from top to bottom. I do know that I can get I use this and then I go and splice that footage in to this video. I do know that I can get this video to be the stuff on my mobile phone will go and be the right scope as well, which I was quite worried about on the last one, thinking, well, if it doesn't work, you'll just not be able to see half of the spine. But that's okay. So this is the one I'm going to tackle today. You'll probably see a few things on here that are a bit surprising. That actually, that even though they're my videos, my movies, they did surprise me in essence. And I'll go through the reasons behind why some of them are there, and you might think, why? Well, there's usually a good reason why they're there, maybe. And maybe I don't know myself. Anyway, so I'll pass you across to me in about 2 seconds in the future, so take it away, me.
Okay, so I'm up in the rafters again for shelf 2, and this is my 4K are all at the top of my shelves. I try to put them with the biggest ones to the left and also at the end of the shelves. The Blade Runner is quite large, it's in there, but it's not too high. If it was very high, it would go to the left hand side. As I've previously stated in my videos, I do have a bit of a problem with neatness on the shelves. But anyway, so much hasn't changed since I did my last update on what 4Ks I've got. There's a few that you can see there. There's Daughters of Darkness, which I'm doing a review on at the minute, because I've nearly finished watching it. I'll finish watching it tonight, and that way I want to get that video out before you see this video, so you will not spoil that sort of title coming out. Dr. Sleep was gifted, well, it was a subscriber mail from my good friend Leon at Leon Talks Film. Apologies for the camera shake, my arms are starting to get, from doing this a million times, it feels like I've been in the gym. He gave me that, he sent me the Dr. Sleep 4K with the director's cut involved in with it. I've watched the 4K, the 4K is brilliant, the film's actually really good, and I can't wait to watch the director's cut. Also, extra titles I've got in here, I've got Keith from Euphoria Pictures told me about Hellfest. So I went out and bought that one and looked at it and it looks really nice. I can't wait to watch that one. Also, Keith from Euphoria Pictures sent me, it's a subscriber mail, the 4K of It, which looks absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to get number 2, chapter 2, to start watching that. So I'm just going to go down to this shelf now before my arms drop off. That's a bit better. Excuse me. Okay, so this is the next shelf of 4Ks actually. They just go in alphabetical order. Not too much to tell you about on this shelf that's new. You probably have seen all these titles mentioned, although I have got a subscriber mail there from gift from Keith from Euphoria Pictures of the Fifth Element on 4K. That's the first time I've really watched the film, and I must admit I was blown away by the 4K. And the film itself is really good, very entertaining, and I can't believe that I just put it to one side for so long and didn't give it its proper. I don't know why I didn't get into it more. I think I just didn't think about it at the right time. But anyway, on watch it was absolutely brilliant, and I'm really pleased that I saw it. I'm really pleased that Keith sent that to me. Also, then after the 4Ks there, you can see it starts to get the Eureka titles. Now I've got 2 slipcases there for 2 films. So I've put them there first. Then I've got 2 steelbooks, which I don't usually go for in steelbooks. You'll not see very many steelbooks in my collection. But I've got the Metropolis and Netropolis, Nosferatu. They look absolutely amazing. And the 4K, I think they'll come out in 4K. And also the steelbooks on them is one of the best steelbooks I've ever seen personally. And that goes into some more Eureka Masters of Cinema titles, and they are all silent films, and I love silent films. Can't get enough of them actually. I think Eureka do absolutely amazing jobs on the sometimes 4K restorations of silent movies, and I must admit that all the ones I've seen on here, I've seen them practically all of them, apart from The Passion of Joan of Arc, which I've heard is meant to be an amazing film. Can't really wait to see that film, but it's on the list anyway. So, but also Eureka do some sort of great obscurity titles here. I mean, films like A New Leaf, which is absolutely one of my favourite films of all time, funny wise. It's so, I never thought it would ever see a release in UK. It was one of them ones that was just never released, and then here it is on a beautiful edition in Eureka, A New Leaf. Very funny. Then you've got a few Jackie Chan films coming out on Eureka, and the quality of them is absolutely brilliant. I would get anything that they put out, especially the 80s Jackie Chan films. Not so much a fan of them in the 70s, and not so much a fan of them like now, but in the 80s he just was on fire, so everything he put out in there was just well worth a watch. Then it moves on to the BFI films. They've got a mixture of films. I've got Seven Samurai there, which I've had for yonks and I still haven't watched. I can't believe it. Salo is a great film if you do not eat food before you see that film at all. It divides a lot of people. I do appreciate it, but wow, it's a hard watch. And then you've got some Jacques Tati films, which I love. Jacques Tati films, I've seen them over and over again on TV, and when they come out on Blu-ray, I had to get them. I think I'm only missing one, which is Traffic. Then you've got some more BFI films. That Studio Canal was put in there, unfortunately, because it was part of the Jacques Tati ones, but it was on a different label. Never mind. Then you go more to the BFI films. You've got, I'm trying to see what they are. I'm trying to look through that film there. That Stinking Feeling is so funny. It's just a Scottish film from Glasgow, and it's just so low budget, but it's absolutely brilliant. Then you've got another Eureka title, which is actually a Hammer film, black and white. Lovely film. Really love that film. Very atmospheric. Oliver Reed's in it. But I can't really put it with the other. This is where the colour thing is going to come into problems. I can't put it in with the other Eureka titles because it's a blue box. I can't find the thin, clear ones in America. But anyway, that's just a minor gripe. Nobody would know about it, but I know about it. And then you go into indicator films. I had a few more indicator films, but I got to admit, when I first saw indicator titles coming out like Christine, and I went and got them, a lot of the early ones, and I thought there would be more like a sort of horror. And they are horror to a certain extent, but they're doing more mainstream things, very obscure films as well. I sort of lost my impetus to get the stuff, so they've went quite by the by. But the films I've got with them, I really do like them. And I did used to have Christine, and spoiler alert, I don't like Christine. I've tried loads of times to watch that film, and the presentation on the indicator one is absolutely brilliant. But I just can't get away with the film. Just doesn't. I think it's the lead actor just gets on my nerves. Just personally, that's just a personal thing of mine. Then you've got the Stanley Kubrick films. These ones, I'm hoping that are all going to come out in 4K. I know that's out in 4K now. I will get it probably when it comes down in a bit price. I haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut. I must get that watched. I haven't seen Barry Lyndon. I think that's one of my next big films to watch, even though it's 3 hours long. That's out on 4K, but I've heard the 4K is just about the same as the Blu-ray. That's the film there, the one that I never thought I would want to see from his films, and I saw it and I loved it. And I would love to see that in 4K. In fact, that's probably me, apart from Clockwork Orange. That's my favourite one of the Stanley Kubrick to be released on 4K. Now, moving along here, you've got some more Woody Allen films. These are quite all over the place in the way of how to put it, the companies that releases films. You've got some Arrow Academy ones, which I don't put in with the other Arrow Academy ones because I want to keep the Woody Allen ones all together. It's got another indicator one there. The front, really hard to get. I was surprised when I saw that in the shop. I got it in FOP for £15, but it's a one that you just don't see around at all. It's a really good film as well. More serious than funny. 1976. And that goes all the way up. There's more in the Arrow Academy ones of Woody Allen, but they're still dead expensive. They're still like 15, 16 quid and they've been out for years. They should be very much under the tenner, but they're not. And then you've got some other Woody Allen ones, which they get released all over the world. Usually they get released in Spain for some reason. Finding his stuff on Blu-ray is quite hard, especially the newer titles, but I will track them down. I do pick one off from time to time, but there's still quite a lot I've got to get on either Blu-ray or just in general. Some of his newer stuff I haven't got round to even seeing yet. So I'm just going to move my step. There you go, that's better. Okay, so I'm on the floor, well, standing up. So next I've got, in this sort of section of directors, you could say, I've got all the Bruce Lee stuff. I keep that all there, even though, oh yes, I've got Bruce Lee, and that's all of his films there. I've got Game of Death is in there, but I've also got it here because this version is much better than the one in there. This is a great set, but the film, the Game of Death, was the only one that didn't really seem to sort of stand out. It seemed to be a bit of a lackluster affair. So yes, moving on from there, you've got Coen Brothers. Love the Coen Brothers. Haven't seen them all, but the ones I've seen I really like. And then you've got another lot of David Lynch. I've saw Dune years and years ago. I didn't really like it, but I've got it. I got it cheap, and I thought, well, I'll get it there. And most of these ones I've seen, Blue Velvet is absolutely amazing. That got to come out in 4K, I would think. You've got, well, Mulholland Drive. That's the sort of 4K remastered one there. But there's got to be a 4K come out of that. And I tell you what, jump scares. There's a jump scare in there that you've got to see to believe. It's one of the ones that just everyone who's seen that film comments. In fact, when I went and bought that film, the fellow in HMV said, have you seen this film? I says, oh yes, I've seen the film. He says, what do you think about the blah, 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 the jump scene? I says, didn't see it coming, and then he fell off the chair. He says, I know, so did I. So I thoroughly, well, I recommend all of these, but that one in particular for just being, it's a mad film. They're all mad films, but what else do you expect from David Lynch? Next, I've got a few Jim Jarmusch films. Sorry, Jim Jarmusch, not Jim Jarmusch. And Stranger Than Paradise is an absolutely brilliant film. Very low budget. One of his first films, if not his first film. And it's absolutely just, it's just, nothing happens in it, but everything happens in it. I can't describe it. Night on Earth is absolutely, that's a great film as well. Haven't seen Dead Man, although it stars Johnny Depp. Then you've got Quentin Tarantino. I've got all of his films there, apart from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is on 4K, so that's why it's up there. I'd probably buy 99% of Quentin Tarantino's films on 4K, but some of them I might not bother, because some of them are all right, but they're not really ones I would want to revisit all the time in 4K. Now, when I was doing this video about the other 15 times, I completely blanked on this fella's name, and I've just remembered it. It's Ben Wheatley. Now, Ben Wheatley's films, I think I've got them all apart from maybe a couple of new ones, if he's got new ones out. I just love Ben Wheatley films, especially, I think my favourite out of these lot is Sightseers. That's unreal. That one as well, Down Terraces, I think that's the American release. That's, wow, that's got such good acting in it as well. After that, you've got some John Waters films. They're just sort of a bit mainstream, although sometimes they're getting hard to get. I think Serial Mom's out of print as well. I'd love to see some of his stuff in 4K if it could ever make it. Some of the newer stuff, I think the older stuff is good on Blu-ray, remastered in 4K, but I don't think you would want to see that. I don't think that could really do anything more, being in a 4K medium. This is the 88 Films, what they're called, Asian Cinema collection. They're all right. Some of them are really good. Some of them aren't that good. That's why I haven't got them all. Next, you've got like what I would consider my like martial arts section and that type of thing. Ip Man and Ip Man 4. That's the whole. I think to John Holgoss73 told me that this is now coming out in 4K, and Ip Man 1 and Ip Man 4 look absolutely stunning on Blu-ray. So for me, they could be absolutely demo quality, but the films themselves are just, excuse me, are just unreal. I just love them. My wife loved them as well. I didn't think she would, but she did. And you've got quite a few ones. You've got like Raid 2 Hyper Violent, which I like. You've got some J-horror ones, J-horror classic ones there, which are just, the gore in it is just absolutely nuts. Is it Tokyo Gore? Yeah, Tokyo Gore Police there is just, no, I've never seen anything like this. Some of the special effects are just absolutely amazing. I'm pretty sure they get people who have had like amputees who would go into the special effects so they can do sort of strange things with their bodies and things like that, which is mad. Okay, so then I'm going down here to a bit more of my martial arts section, which ends there. Then I was moving stuff around. I moved this to here. This is my James Bond section. There is more films for me James Bond stuff, but it's in my son's room. My son's got all the Daniel Craig ones, which I like. But the only other one I really like to actually watch again is Roger Moore. He's the one who used to go to the pictures and see. And he used to buy all the toys and cars and all that. But the whole thing of James Bond, especially after Roger Moore, I didn't really care for any of the actors doing it, Pierce Brosnan, all that type of thing. I'm not bothered about that. Sean Connery's pretty good, but I don't really rewatch his films. I just like the 70ness of Roger Moore, even though he's not a great actor, but I think he's a great James Bond. But Daniel Craig, for me, is my favourite James Bond, if I had to say. This is going into more of my... This is the start of my sort of horror section. But the horror, this is the horror that's kind of like the thin boxes and more the sort of bit culty, a bit more culty than other things. Now this one here is my first ever subscriber mail of my good friend Yuha Yulin, and he sent this to me, and I'm going to do a full review on the film. I need to watch the extras on it, but I love this film for it just being so nuts, but in a good way. You got some Shameless ones there. They are quite good. I wouldn't say that Shameless are a company that do spend too much time doing their remastering. They seem to be a little... I mean, that's very hard to get in general. Not really hard to get in the shops. It's just the fact that they released it. It just was never out. So I'm glad they put that out. But it could be better. But I appreciate them putting it out. Also, I've got like the likes there. I've got like the I Spit in Your Grave. I like the first one. I don't watch the full sequence of the scene. I fast forward through that. I don't find it, once you've seen it once, you don't need to revisit it again. Don't like any of the remakes. Just don't. I think they're very unnecessary personally. And if there's a 4K uncut of that, I don't think I'll go there, because I think that's good enough for me. That's a good version of it, but I don't feel like I need to sort of go down that route on HD. It's got a lot of, not problems with it, but there's a lot of subject matter that's just not really that watchable. Saying that though, I mean, the likes of Cannibal Holocaust, which you could see is 10 times worse. I do like Cannibal Holocaust, but I don't like the animal killing, of course. So you've got some Blue Underground stuff here. Vigilante is going to come out in 4K. I can't wait to get it in 4K because it looks good on Blu-ray. So the 4K is going to be amazing. Toolbox Murders, I've already got that on 88 films. Why would I have two? Because this one, the picture quality in this one is much better than the 88 pictures ones. So I'd always watch this one when I watch it on my Blu-ray. And this one here, if you've never seen The Video Dead, hunt this one out. Get The Video Dead. It's so good. I just love this film. I will go more into these films, what I think about them, at a later date. Maybe go through this section and just say, give you some tips on what ones are just stunning films for this one. I mean, there's some variety there. That's a bit like a sort of a high school comedy, which is great. It's got camera effects that just look like The Evil Dead, believe it or not. So I'm going to pick it up a little bit, because I did feel that this one, it was going on for 30-40 minutes on my last one, and I just thought I want to make it more like the sort of 25 minutes ones. So this is getting into from here, you're getting into my horror section, and these are the Blu-rays that I've got. I do like this series, American Horror Story, but I don't like the newer ones. I think they're just a bit poor, if I'm honest. You've got... So just continuing on alphabetically, I've got my horrors here. There might be a few in here that you may think, well, not really horrors, but like Children of the City of the Lost Children, a classic kind of like a horror, even though it's not. So yeah, going through, you might see a few like this one. These are great little horror films, little zombie films, if you ever want to get them. Obviously, 3 from Hell is a bit out of, what's it called? Alphabetical order, but it's obviously the sequel to that one, so it's got to go there. Double Date, absolutely amazing film. Got all my Evil Deads there, apart from 2, which are in 4K. I've got Evil Dead 1 in 4K, but I need to keep this for the special edition, the special features on the Blu-ray. Now, I know that the other one that's come out now has got this one as the extra disc. So for me, the 4K the new 4K would probably be the best one to get. But I don't really need to get that, spend money on that one, because If I didn't have them two, I'll go immediately for that one. You've got Friday the 13th there. Now, there's more to talk about on Friday the 13th in forthcoming weeks, but this one here, I have got the slipcover for this one. I just haven't put it on because it's a little bit loose, and when you put them on the shelves, it tends to like knock the slipcover, so the slipcover's off to just keep it in good condition. Big fan of the slipcovers, as you know. This one here, Crystal Lake Memories, I think this is the American one, but I think you can get the UK one. If you like Friday the 13th, get this because it is absolutely brilliant. You cannot be a fan of Friday the 13th if you don't have this disc. Get it immediately. So yeah, so this is like, it's just coming on to what's it called, alphabetical order. Just sort of going to go slowly through these ones, just mention a few that I like. Life After Beth, love that film. Night of the Creeps, absolutely amazing. Prevenge, love it. Whoops, that's me. Pick that up there. It's not my wallet. Right, where am I? There you go. So getting across there, you've got the three other Dawn of the Dead trilogy. So like the second trilogy, Land of the Dead, really good. Diary of the Dead, not so good. Survival of the Dead, pretty strange. I'm going to have to go back to them ones and just see if they are things that I do like. Especially Survival of the Dead, although it's got a lovely lenticular cover. That's an American release. I don't know if you can get it in the UK. And then you come through to some really poor, where's my finger there? Some really poor, low budget horror films, but I really do like them. So that's the Blu-rays finished on here. Then there's the next thing, is keeping on the bottom section at the moment is purely DVDs. So this is just going on, I'll go through slowly through these. I've got some more Bruce Lee ones here. I don't really want to get rid of them because they're really excellent DVDs. And also that's another thing of saying, well, here we go again. You've got multiple versions of everything. I must have bought the Bruce Lee films 1,000 times, but I do like them. You've got a section there which people might wonder what all that's about. Now, a short story about that is that back in the day, my son used to watch Nickelodeon and all the kids' channels incessantly, as most parents who had kids would watch the children's TV. It's a great thing for kids to watch. Now, this girl who's in here is called Amanda Bynes, and she was in the Amanda Show. And my son used to watch that constantly, and then he moved into some of the films. I think this is one of his films, and I must admit I really liked it, and also this one as well. These two films you should watch all the time, back to back. So after he sort of lost interest and all that, I thought myself, you know, I saw another film which is on Blu-ray called Easy A, and I thought, I wonder whatever happened to her, you know. And I looked into her sort of story, thinking she was heading to be quite a bit of a star, and she just has went down some really dark rabbit hole of mental health problems, and she's in a really, really bad place. Although apparently by her, she says that she's all right now. When I watch stuff about her, she doesn't look all right to me. I really hope that she gets back to some kind of normality and she gets back into films. I don't think it'll ever happen, unfortunately. I think she's only 32 now, and I think it's just it's one of them stories that you hear in Hollywood, and it's very sad to think that somebody could end up like that, because I think she had a really brilliant future ahead of her. And I do, these films here, I do really like them. I do watch them quite a lot, believe it or not. So anyway, hopefully she will turn the corner and pull her life around. And there you're getting into The King, Danny Dyer, and love his films. What's it? Run for Your Wife. That is just one of the worst films, but good films you can never see in your life. I urge anybody who's a fan of utterly mad for the wrong reason films, bad, you know, ones that you just can't believe you're watching, go and get Run for Your Wife. It's just unreal. I do really want to do a review of that because I think it's a film that people have got to see. Right, so I'm getting on the floor now. Whoops, I tell you what. Right, so this is just more, this one here is more TV shows. So like I say, it's starting to creep up on the time, so I'm just going to go through this. So if you've got any comments about any of these releases here on this in this shelf in section 2, shelf 2, sorry, just drop us a link and drop us a comment and ask us about them if you want to know anything more about them, or go into detail of any particular type of thing. Ideal is the maddest show you'll ever see in on a TV show. It's got the many plot twists that are in this show. You've got the characters are just absolutely brilliant. You've got Psycho Paul, you've got cartoon head, sorry. And it's just, well, I don't know, I can't explain it. You've got to see it to believe it. Got cancelled, I don't know why, because it was really good. Some Lauren Hardy there. These are sort of the ones that, well, I'd say they're not really that good, because they're a little bit, I think they went past the prime in this one, unfortunately. You've got the League of Gentlemen, big fan of the League of Gentlemen. Just doing this one here because I missed this one out. I've done the whole video and I missed this shelf out. So this is still some more TV shows. I've got Norman Wisdom box set there, brilliant, I love them. Especially the Early Bird, which me and my son used to watch incessantly when he was a kid. And then going into more like stand-up comedy, which I mean, these are good, I do like them, but basically you can get them all on YouTube now, so I don't even know why you would even have stand-up comedy DVDs now. But some of them you might not, you might not see on YouTube. Also getting into the some music ones here now, which is the music DVDs, and this starts off with ADBC, like a rock opera, which is completely hilarious. Love it. It's a comedy anyway. It's only about 40 minutes long. It's a really hard one to track down. That was Victor Borge. That's more like comedy. I like people who are like great musicians who do comedy as well, and I've got a big soft spot for them. Now I'm going to point out this Girls Aloud. Now I'm not going to know the backstory of this, but there was a point where I saw this quite a lot, and there was this particular part of it which I thought they were dancing on. It was so bizarre that I thought, I've got to see this. And then we bumped into this one in Pound World, so I says, right, I'll have one of them. I don't watch it, but if I ever wanted a sort of, it's not on YouTube, or else I wouldn't have bought it. I just wanted to see it for this stupid dance thing, which is, I don't know why, but you know, you get these things that you want to talk about, you want to watch. Got some NoFX there. I've seen NoFX before, brilliant, with my son. Pixies, seen the Pixies before, love them. Elvis, the King, wish I'd seen him live, of course, that would have been the ultimate, wouldn't it? The Ramones, great band, haven't seen them live, that's a big shame. Although there's a band going around now of girls called the Ramonas, which I would like to go and see them as a sort of tribute band. You've got the Ruttles, who I've seen before twice, and had me picture and spoken to Neil Innes from the Ruttles, and had a lot of time for him. Unfortunately, he died last year, which I'm still gutted about, actually, if I think about it. Then you've got some John Shuttleworth, saw him before, actually got that at his show, and also bought a spoon as well, which is odd. And the Tenacious D, Tom Waits, Big Time, which I sort of copied that off my VHS and put on a DVD, because you just can't get this. It's really, really out of print, but I love this film. And also, just in there, you've got Early Doors, the TV series. They just got us quite big to fit on the shelves. That doesn't fit where I'd want it to fit, but eventually it probably would. So I've just put that in this video at this point, and I'll put you back to the original video as a sort of like a little splice. This on the bottom shelf here is just moving down to stuff that was really my wife's stuff, which is probably going to be taken out soon, because I was thinking yesterday, I've got an overflow of films, and I thought what I'll do is now I'll ask my wife if she wouldn't mind putting these in a cupboard somewhere, and I'm going to get another shelf probably on the next shelf and put it down to some more Blu-rays on there, because I think it's these ones here, they're just there, they're not really doing anything at all. She does like them, she doesn't watch them that much. Also, this one here is a CD, actually. It's a Tom Waits CD. It's a double CD, but it's presented like a DVD in a DVD size case, which is a little bit hard to put in the shelves for when you stack them up with your CDs. So going down here, we've got some more Woody Allen ones, but they're ones I've already got on Blu-ray, so they're just for going anyway, but I haven't got rid of them yet. I've got some 4 that was gifted to me off Holgos 73, some Italian spaghetti western films, the Trinity films, and also My Name is Nobody and Nobody is Still My Name. Great films, actually, very watchable. With I'm going to blank on the fella's name, I can't believe it. No, I can't read what his name is on there. But I would love to see them on Blu Ray somewhere. I think Arrow 88 could get them out. I think it'd be great. Actually, part of the Italian Classics cinema would be quite good. And that's the end of that. The end one there is just a blank box. Now, what I do sometimes with these ones, because sometimes I don't do it as much now, but I used to have little blank boxes of little places. Now I might put one, say, like on the end there, and so what I would do is, if there was one coming in around about that way, I'd just take the blank out and put one in. You wouldn't have to move them all over the place. But I've sort of not really started doing that, but it might be something that somebody would like to do. Oh, I'm getting a stiff neck here. I don't want this thing to fall on my head. Wow. So it's one of the things where it can help you when you're trying to move these things around. But anyway, so I'm going to pass you back over to my good friend John. You might have heard him before. And I'm going to go and put my neck. I tell you what, I think I need some spray on my neck for this. It is like going to the gym.
So thanks for watching that video. Sorry it went on a little bit too long. Probably went a bit gassing. I did do that quite a few times and found out that I was getting too long. I think that's the shortest one out of the whole lot. The other ones were just going on far too long. So thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you want to ask me a question about anything, I put the video down below on the question video. So ask the questions on there and I will answer them on a separate video in a couple of days time. I know I've got 21 comments on there. I can see it on my phone, you see. I'm not going to cheat because I went this long without watching it. So what I can say is, when I go into the video and look at it, it'll say it there, comments 21, but the fact is that I can't see the comments and I haven't seen the comments. So hopefully that'll be 21 questions, and I will answer them on that video when it comes up. Should be, like I say, a couple of days, and hopefully we'll have a bit of fun with it. Okay, so thanks for sticking around to the end of this, and thanks for watching this rather long one. I think the third one won't be as long, but well, I try not to make it as long. I think 20 minutes is more than enough to watch one of these ones. But at least you've seen all of what's on shelf 2. And after I've done that one, I will then, there's an overspill on there of films that just can't fit on the shelves, and I'll go through that one in a separate video and probably explain why they're there, where they're going to live, and what's going to happen to them. And now I'm full up on the shelves. I'll have to start taking some of the DVDs out of the shelves and finding homes for them. More my wife's stuff anyway. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. See you later.